with authority. Aloha!
Welcome to the most musclesome show in Bay Area sports. This is ABC7 Sports.
With authority.
We're back again, and we have a huge star with us today. The man who finished third in American League MVP voting. A man on the rise. Marcus Semien.
Everybody's thinking about football and the Super Bowl. He's a huge 49ers fan, even though he plays on the other side of the bay for the A's. And so, he's got so much going on. He's got two little ones. He's also in a contract year. A couple questions about
maybe
sign
some trash
stealing.
Cans and some
Trash
sign stealing.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. Oh, is that a fastball? Yeah. So good. What a wonderful family.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get a surprise appearance at the end of this podcast, so stay to the very end and absolutely check out Marcus. A's Fan Fest, business is about to pick up for him coming up here real soon.
No doubt.
So it was great for him to spend a few minutes with us before he gets out and gets back to baseball activities, Fan Fest, spring training. Next thing you know, the season's going to be here, and he's going to be back at it, having a huge contract year.
Yes. Let's get to it. Marcus Semien.
You were third in MVP voting. You had a great year last year. I know that you're probably chomping at the bit to get back on the field, but as a family man too, are you kind of savoring these last few days before baseball really fires back up?
Yeah, I think so. The offseason, it has different sections to it. The first 3 weeks are resting. Then you start to weight lift. Then you start to hit. And now we're taking ground balls and doing on-field activity. And you feel like you're getting closer and closer to spring. But it's nice for me to have my family to come with me to Arizona. And we'll still be spending a lot of time together, just a little bit more busy for me.
Do the kids, are they able to recognize Daddy on the TV when you're playing? Do you get those reports back from home?
Definitely my oldest. He loves watching us play, and they come to a lot of games. So they sit in the stands and watch us. And then, of course, when we go on the road, he can do all of our batting stances, and he's locked in. So he's really starting off at a young age, but it's nice as a father to see that.
How old is he?
My oldest is 3, and then my youngest is 19 months.
Wow. So 2 kids, 3 or under. You're you're right in the midst of it. I remember those days. But at least you're past the sleepless night portion of the program.
Yeah. They're doing great, and either way, regardless, it's a blessing to be raising them. And hey, there's going to be those nights when when they're younger where you don't get enough sleep, but that doesn't matter. You still have to show up and play and perform, and that's what I try and focus on.
No question. So a lot of people may not know the backstory, but it's got to be pretty special for you because there's not that many guys in professional sports that are homegrown athletes and get to play for one of the teams that they used to watch every day as a kid.
Yeah, no, it's special. We've got a couple of those guys on the team. Myself, Stephen Piscotty, Mark Hanna, who we've grown up here in the Bay Area. Even our manager, Bob Melvin. So it's nice to be close to home and familiar with where you play. For a lot of guys who come into Oakland, it's a little bit different from maybe where they've grown up, and that's just another thing they need to worry about is adjusting. But for us guys, we don't have to adjust. We already know what it's like.
Yeah, Casey is a super A's fan, and I always give him a hard time. I'm joking with him about it because he grew up with the A's. So he's gonna ask you all these A's fan questions and stuff. Where I'm gonna be more. I'm gonna go for the jugular here on some of these. So you just let me know if it's too early on this. But if the questions become too hard, can you buzz 1 for yes or buzz 2 for no? Is that too soon? Yeah.
Or hit the trash can.
Or hit the trash can. One is fastball, 2 is curve. If it's a question you're not expecting it, just hit 2 for curve, and you're like, whoa, I don't know if I want to go there. Well, what's your thought about this whole thing?
Well, it's a tough situation, and I think MLB, they did what they needed to do. But as we compete against these guys, you just think, wow, these guys are really, really good. And they're beating us up. But I think at the end of the season, we started to change up our signs and just be more cautious, and we played well against them. And that's what we need to do against all teams because that's the landscape. But all I know is we play the game the right way, and we're focused on getting better at that. And if we worry about all the other things, then we're not going to play as well.
Now, Mike Fiers, had he not spoken up, I think none of this would have come out because reports had come out and MLB didn't do much on it. But, I mean, what do you think about Mike Fiers and putting his name on it and the bravery that took, and maybe how he's being unnecessarily dumped on? Because I see a lot of people supporting him. I see a lot of people upset. So how do you kind of support him? Have you talked to him at all throughout this?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that not a lot of people realize is that the media came to him first. He didn't just come out and say, hey, let me say this. But he's a guy who's not afraid to put his name on it. They asked him what they asked him, and he answered it. And he's an Oakland A, and we compete against them all the time. And maybe it was something that was, deeply on his mind. And I have no problem with that. Of course, as his teammate, I support him. And when I see negativity towards, him and from other players in our, brotherhood, it's kind of makes me mad, but that's, I'm his teammate and I feel bad for him, and he's going to go out and have a great year despite all this because he's a strong-minded guy.
Just for the layman, because if I told you ahead of time or, a second before the pitch was coming, fastball, curveball, cutter, split, how much more of an advantage how many more homers could you possibly hit? Because you hit a ton of homers, but I mean, how much of an advantage would that really give you in that split second to know, okay, I'm looking at this? Because Mariano Rivera, everybody knew he was throwing the cutter, and they still couldn't hit it. So I don't know. Just you tell me what if you could quantify how much more of an advantage that would be.
Definitely, I think that. A lot of times we work hard to try and find if a guy is tipping pitches, like with his glove or with his timing or just something looks different. And you use that to your advantage because if you know how to hit a fastball the right way and you know that it's coming, that's what we practice every day. So the result you could hit that ball pretty hard. For off speed, of course, if you know it's coming, then you set your sights higher and you look for that breaking ball up in the zone because it's going to come down. So it is an advantage, but that's what we work on every day. And then you do your homework and you try and find trends and you do it that way. And that's what we do in Oakland.
Now I'm going to make the hard transition here, but you're about to have an opportunity to get back together with all your teammates, get back in front of the fans. You got Fan Fest coming up Saturday, Jacqueline and Square. I mean, how excited are you just to be around the guys again, around the fans again?
Yeah, it's great. I always look forward to it. Just, spending time with teammates, the off season, it's a long time, and you spend so much time with them during the season. You get to know them, you get to know their families, and it's nice to have Fan Fest to catch up a little bit before we get into spring training. And for the fans, I'm excited to, see them, and I'm looking forward to the excitement because we've won 97 games 2 years in a row. I'm sure they're expecting more with us bringing back the same team and better pitching.
Now, how great is that venue? I know you're an East Bay guy, so Jacqueline and Square, just getting everybody out there. I've seen it. It's beautiful. I mean, how amazing is that? And maybe how nice would it be to see a stadium there at some point?
The area is great. So our front office, they built their offices over there, expecting to have the stadium over there right down the boardwalk, I guess you could call it. And I really see a bright future if this stadium gets done for the city and the community and the Oakland A's. Just, with revenue coming in, it's going to help them. That's what they need is the local revenue. And, it's going to cost, whatever it costs to build the stadium, but it will definitely pay off.
Now, I know we're going to get back into football in a little bit, but with the Raiders leaving and impacting that area, are you guys going to get that nice locker room? Because they got a much bigger area than your clubhouse presently. Have you heard anything about that?
I think that's the plan. I talked to David Force, our GM, earlier in the offseason, and that's what they're planning to do.
Nice.
They're just waiting for confirmation, of course, from the Raiders that they're going to Vegas for sure, which I think everybody knows that, but they just want to make sure it's set in stone, and then they can get to work on that.
I know you were a big Barry Bonds fan growing up. If you get the larger locker room, you're going to go a leather chair right next to your locker.
Is that what he had?
Oh yeah,
he had two lockers, a big leather chair.
Yeah, you got to go leather chair. We could order up like green and gold upholstery for the leather chair. I think Barry had a black leather chair. They didn't customize it with Giants colors at the time.
Yeah, I think the people with the biggest lockers would probably be Marcus and then Voos, because Voos gets all that space, man. Voos deserves all.
Well, he's been there 1,000 years.
He needs somewhere to smoke his cigars too. You know?
Well, absolutely. So let's go on the field for a second here, because, and I'm just going to be like dead honest about it. Right in the beginning, it was hard. Right when you first got here, and I remember seeing Ron Washington, who was then one of the assistant coaches for the A's. You guys would be out like hours and hours before the game, and you'd be fielding ground balls, and he'd be throwing. I mean, it's just like every single day. And you went from a guy who struggled in the field to, well above average. How did you make that transformation? And especially when guys are, there's a perception of you. You've changed it so dramatically. What was that whole process like? Because that was not just like a snap of a finger and, okay, now I'm tremendous.
Yeah, I think you said it right there. Just the work every day that we did, the work every day that I continue to do builds confidence. And for all young infielders, it takes more reps and more game experience every day to have something click and to have something that you can go to on each and every ball that you get. But the only way to do that is to put in the work and to figure it out, figure out how your body works, figure out what your coach is telling you in a way that you can use it for your own body, for your own mind. So that took me a while, the first couple of years, but I feel good right now.
So I want to draw the parallel because you're a 49ers fan, and I don't know if you followed the Raheem Mosters story because he obviously exploded in the NFC Championship game for 220 yards and 4 touchdowns. But previously he was cut by 6 other teams, and the last time he was cut by the Browns, and he was ready to give up football. He was just like done, and it was his wife who said, No, this is your love, this is your passion. If you really want to pursue this, you can't give up. Did you ever run into those moments? And you and your wife have been together, I think, since like Cal when she was playing volleyball. Were there ever times where you were just so frustrated and you thought, I just can't field any more ground balls. I'm just so tired of this.
For me, no, it was. But you're right, that family support. I saw he has a little one as well. Just people that you want to do well for. And for me, after that first year, we had our oldest, and it's just more. It's even more motivation for you. You have somebody. It's not all about you anymore. You're playing for your family. You're playing for, your little ones, and it really, for me, it really clicked and made me want to work more. Made me want to work harder. I always thought I had good work ethic, but I felt like I brought it to another level once, we had our first and got married and stuff. So I'm happy for Raheem. That was amazing to watch that game. I've seen it all season from him. They have such a deep group that he doesn't get all the carries, but with the injuries and stuff, it was great to see him have a tremendous game.
Now, I know the A's Twitter account often refers to you as Twitterless Marcus. Why do you hate social media? What do you have against fake outrage at all times?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it is just the, negativity from people, whether you do good or bad. I like to, just focus on the game. And for me, I feel like at this time in my career, the social media part would only be a distraction for me. I know there's a lot of positives to it with the community, but I kind of use the A's for that part, and that's just the way I do it right now.
Yeah, I know you're really active in the community, and I also saw that the A's, when they're doing Fan Fest, they're going to ask people to bring food donations and things like that. I'm not sure how up to speed you are on that, but how much pride do you take in your community efforts in addition to what you're doing on the field?
Definitely, I take a lot of pride in that, just because this is the place that I grew up. But regardless of if I grew up here or not, I feel like it's important for players who play in a particular city to get in their community, because you are the role model for these young kids in that community and even around the country. But it's important, I feel like in this community in Oakland, especially in the inner cities, not a lot of kids are playing baseball. And until they see somebody, especially somebody who may look like them a little bit more, doing it, they may pick a different sport if someone doesn't.
Interesting.
Can we talk about the business side a little bit? Because you're an impending free agent, right? You have one more year left. You think about that, and does that put any more pressure on you, knowing that there's money on the table, especially this season? I mean, if you put up the numbers you put up like last year, well, the next time we call for a podcast, you probably blow us off. But you probably say, no, I'm not doing that low rent podcast anymore. I'm going to wait for Scott Van Pelt.
No, I mean, I really just focus on what I did to make the improvements on the field. And for me, if you think about the other things that go along with, playing well, you're not going to play as well. You just need to focus on the game, and the adjustments I made to, walk more and to hit the ball harder and to play better defense. That's the only thing I'm thinking about, and everything else will fall into place.
Now, I sense everybody always says, like, I want to play with this team for life. I want to be here forever. But I sense it means more to you to be in Oakland A based on where you grew up and really seeing the rise of this team coinciding with your success as a major leaguer. So, I mean, obviously, if the money's right, you'd be happy to stay here, right?
Yeah, I think for a lot of players, they're a lot more comfortable in the place that they've been playing. Especially for me, this will be 6 years. And you get into a certain routine in the Coliseum, and you feel the rhythm of game day. You just understand it better. And I've seen a lot of players go to other places, and regardless of if our stadium, it is what it is. It's not the best stadium in the league. We don't have the best facilities, but in terms of the group and the way people work and the way that our team gets along, it's one of the best in baseball. And guys who've left our team have come back when they play us, and they've said, "Hey, it's crazy how different it is leaving Oakland." But we'll see what happens. I think that the group that we have now with Chapman, Olsen, Laureano, Piscotty, Canna, from the position player standpoint, it's one of the best in baseball. And if you're talking about wanting to win a World Series, I think this is the group to do it with.
Yeah, and the young pitching you guys have, I mean, that rotation's going to be amazing for years to come. How nice is it to play behind someone like Jesus Luzardo, who's really coming into his own now?
Yeah, it's great. When you're playing behind a guy who's throwing that hard with that much movement, it's fun. It's just fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And of course, you want to make every play behind all your pitchers, but it keeps you more on your toes. Our guys have electric stuff, and it's fun to play behind, and it really gets you going.
So we should tell them about the bet we made last year, because when you mentioned Luzardo.
We'll do that before we get to Super Bowl, and then we'll let him go.
So we made a bet just for fun last year because Casey loves the A's so much. And just for the hell of it, I said, I'll take the Giants, you take the A's, and you give me 15 wins, right? So it was neck and neck. Now, the problem was what we were wagering. He had already owed me a foot-long sub, so we doubled the bet, but the wrinkle was the loser has to eat 2 foot-long subs. So at one time, it was kind of like a Joey Chestnut challenge here of how much. Anyway, so it was, the Giants were hanging around, and all he would be talking about is just wait until all the pitchers get healthy in the last. Just wait till Luzardo, and that's all I heard for like 3-4 months, and then at the end it's like you guys went, and the Giants went.
Yes.
And I think that we take off the last 2 years. We've taken off in the second half when a lot of teams may fall off just because it's a long season, but we always seem to start off slow, for whatever reason, and after the break happens, we get more reinforcements and guys start figuring out their swings, and we took off last year. I'm sorry you lost that one.
Yeah,
no,
that was nice though. I brought Joey Chestnut in here to eat with you.
Yeah, that was
very nice of him.
But you personally kind of killed me. I mean, how many home runs did he hit? How many did he hit?
Blame the Giants.
What did he hit last year? How many home runs?
Dude, well, how many did you hit last year? Give me
33.
You were third
Yeah,
in voting. So
it was. I mean, we have a score to settle now. Now it's personal because I'm still getting the aftertaste from those subs.
We'll do it again this year, and you'll take him out again this year.
Are you going to do that again?
Yeah,
no.
Yes,
No.
absolutely.
I'm taking the Dodgers this year.
All right, from eating champions to Super Bowl champions, the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl. We're going to be in Miami all week. What is your pick? I know you're a 49ers fan, so can you give us an unbiased opinion on this game against the Chiefs? Who are you going with?
Well, I'm going with the Niners, but I think that they have to find a way to stop Tyreek Hill. I think that speed kills, and they have the quarterback to throw it right under him. He can run faster than anybody, and Mahomes can throw it further than anybody. So they're going to have to get creative there and kind of make them beat. They're going to have to make them run the ball somehow. I think that's going to be, the key. But I like the Niners' offense. The run game's good. They have that advantage because Kansas City's defense is a little down.
Where are you going to be watching the game? Do you have a party plan or anything like that?
I don't know yet. We're still trying to figure that out. But I'm definitely not going to Miami like you guys, but we'll be watching it somewhere else.
We won't be having any fun. Don't worry.
I see some presents on the counter behind you. I don't know if those are your wife's or your kids. But I thought it would be fun. Who's the better athlete in the family? Because she played high-level volleyball at Cal. You're obviously not a slouch yourself. Is that ever? Are you guys competitive at all, or how's that go?
No, I mean I tell people that every time they ask that Tara is the better athlete in the family, and she's right here laughing now.
Well, get her in. Let's get her in the shot. Get her in the shot. Where's Tara?
Let her brag a little bit.
Yeah. How are you?
Hello, I can't hear.
Oh, she can't hear. No, if you take one out, it should still work. Give her one earbud.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Larry and Casey. So it's great because now forever you have it on tape that you're the superior athlete. Over a guy
He's a good husband.
Well, he's a smart husband also. Yeah, you get that on tape so you can run it back. But from your perspective, just how has this journey been? It can be hard being married to a professional athlete. So, and you being an athlete yourself, the physical demands, the mental demands. What's the journey been like for you, and to see him succeed the way he has the past couple years?
Yeah, I think kind of like what you said, like. Because I am an athlete, I know the rigors and the work it takes to be where he's at. So when he has a full day of training, when he, has treatment, whatever it is, I've been there. So I understand that, and I'm able to relate to him, and not necessarily really talking about the game of baseball, but how we approach sports mentally in general. So I think that's where we connect a lot. Also, like if he's having a rough game or if he has a good game, bad game, whatever it is, like I said, we're able to approach his career and how he approaches baseball, just like in a way that I think you couldn't connect if I didn't play and have the same type of path that he had. So yeah, it's been awesome. Our kids absolutely love baseball, which makes it so easy to start and be in 8 months of baseball. Yeah. So we're super excited. We're so proud of him, and yeah, it's been a blessing.
That's awesome. And you could probably still out-jump him, right? Like vertical?
Maybe when I was in college, I could touch the rim. She's taller than me too, with longer arms. So you got to remember that too.
Yeah. I've got like 2 inches, an inch. Yeah. But yeah, so we're super proud of him.
All you guys need to do is Google Tara Murray and look at her Cal stuff and professional volleyball, and you'll know why I say that. But,
nice.
That's awesome.
I'll pull a clip and we'll throw it on right at the end of this interview
Exactly.
so everybody can see it if they're watching.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that'll
Thank
be
you so much.
hilarious.
Thank you both for joining us.
Yeah,
And
no,
we're sorry
that's-
that baseball's going to take Marcus away from
Yeah.
the next many months.
Where are the
But we're
kids?
excited for
Who's
him.
watching the kids?
They're sleeping.
They're upstairs
Oh,
sleeping.
Oh, no,
Oh, we got to be
we're
quiet.
really
We got to be quiet. We're too loud. I'm too loud. I
Oh, you're
apologize.
fine.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's great that we got both of you because we didn't know that you were lurking in the background there.
I was.
Yeah, that's-
I was like, should I go do my workout right now or should I just lurk? So I lurked.
That's oh, we should add, what's your workout like?
Well, the knees have taken a beating over the years,
I
so
bet.
I keep it to more circuit training and bike.
That's
So-
excellent. So we got a thing that we're doing here in the sports department. It's the plank contest. Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
yes.
So, unfortunately, Casey had the brilliant idea of adding 5 seconds to the plank every day.
That's awesome.
So what are you at now?
3 minutes.
We're only up to 3, but we
Wow.
just started
Awesome.
like 2 weeks ago. So
But the problem is, in 2 months, it's going to be, I don't know,
We're
we're going to be
dead.
like an hour and a half by the end of the year.
we'll be in trouble.
Yeah, how's that?
Consistency is key. We did that actually my junior year of college. We did a 12-minute plank.
A 12-minute
Oh, you're
plank!
almost there.
Yeah.
Oh my
Quarters
God!
away.
If you would have asked me to do that right now, no. But a couple of years ago, yeah, we were doing 12-minute planks. We could switch. We could go from the left to the right. And
Okay.
then
Okay.
You could do
Well,
a side
maybe we should
plank?
Try that.
Marcus,
Yeah.
what's your
That's
best plank
unbelievable.
time? We got to throw it down right now.
Well, I'm not even measuring it like you guys, but now I need to start getting above 3 minutes.
when we
Obviously,
finish this
No.
interview, we'll go. We'll
Don't
compete
change a
against each other.
thing.
Oh,
Just do what
no,
you're
yeah,
doing.
no, yeah,
It's
probably
working
just keep
well.
hitting home
Don't
runs.
change
Yeah,
a
don't,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
Everything's
Yeah,
fine.
never forget my idea.
Thank
That
you
was
so
dumb.
much for
That was- oh, this is awesome.
That was a great time.
Thank
Thank you for
you
the time, guys.
both.
Thank you.
of course. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, and we'll, have fun in Miami. I don't know if I'll see you guys at FanFest, but thank you for all the questions, and I appreciate even with the Astro stuff. Like, we're happy to answer that stuff in the best way we can, but
Yeah,
just know that we're focused on ourselves and what we need to do to beat those guys, and all that stuff is in the past, and whatever happened, but we want to beat them and win the division, and it's going to take a little bit more. We have to be careful with our signs and this and that, but we need to play the game and still roll out there and beat them. So we'll see what happens.
well, I appreciate.
respect,
Yeah, I know, and I
absolutely.
appreciate your willingness to, hey, you guys didn't do anything wrong, but it's an uncomfortable subject for everybody, I think, associated with Major League Baseball, and so it's just one of those things. Hopefully everybody gets past it, and the game can be policed in a way where it's not an issue, and we know it's a level playing field. So I do appreciate your time, and like I said, you had the option of like blink once if you don't want to answer, or blink twice.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
That's good.
you can keep that going. All right, thanks so much. Take care.
Okay.
We'll
have
see
a
you
good
during
one.
the season.
May
Bye bye.
your children have very long naps for you.
Yeah.
today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
See you.
So again, we want to thank Marcus and his wife. What jumped out to you about that whole interview?
I just thought it was really fun to have Tara join us. I didn't know she was there, and it was funny just to bring her in at the end, let her brag a little bit, talk about her athletic days. And honestly, man, I mean, it's really tough when you're the wife of a professional baseball player to lose your husband
Sure.
for like 8 months out of the year. So it's good for them that they're going to be able to, go to Arizona, get spring training underway, and check out the games. But yeah, she might be the better athlete, and she does all the hard work, believe me.
Yeah, I think some of my family members would welcome an 8-month departure. Like, yeah, that's okay. Just the checks will keep coming. The money. Oh yeah, your tuition will still get paid. Yeah, all right, we'll see you in 8 months.
Well, that's you.
Yeah,
But
no, that
anyways,
is-
we're going to
that's
give
true.
our families a break for the next week. We're going to Miami for the Super Bowl, 49ers Chiefs. You'll be seeing us all over the place all week out there.
And a 12-minute plank. That's what we're going to do.
Eventually,
We're going to do that.
We'll
yeah,
see. Our backs might break in half.
No
by then.
time soon. No time soon. So tell everybody how they can enjoy more of the With Authority podcast.
If you'd like to subscribe, we're on iTunes, SoundCloud. We're on YouTube. We are on the web, abc7news.com/withauthority. We are everywhere. I almost forgot because I have so many things to list.
What is it? Rate, review, subscribe, or subscribe, rate, review? How does it?
All that stuff. Just do everything.
Do everything.
Click every button.
This is the
on
number.
The thing, and
we're looking for 5.
5 stars.
5. That's all you need to know. All right.
$5 footlong for Larry Beil.
We're not doing that again. Aloha with authority.